gigs. 2.5. Go. And yeah, we are actually set. And this gives me an idea to actually to really install this on the Toshiba Satellite 445 CDT, so that way I can run run DOS 622 on that Latin thing, and that would be an interesting thing to do, just like what I'm doing right here. Thought about doing that, because that would actually give me the ability to plug in USB thumb drives. I haven't run a modern operating system like this, as modern as the laptop that is, on a system like this in a long ass time. So it's going to look for the drivers for the laptop. It should have those drivers on it. At least you guys will be getting a dual boot guide, albeit a very minimalistically commentated one, because I don't really think I have to explain this one much. And you might be wondering why I'm installing Windows 2000 on here first instead of 98. It'll be apparent to you in a while. Then we'll do Windows 95 on this laptop. Too bad this thing can't run NT 4.0, or else I would choose that. Well, it can run it. It's just getting it all set up is a pain in the butt, and I'd rather not go through that process because I hate going through that process. I've tried getting NT4 to work in the past, and it's been nothing but trouble. Oh, the motherfucker .sys file. And then they had MFC motherfucker crap .dlo or whatever it was. Yeah, my sense of humor wasn't really welcome in some of the places that I used to be in. Freddy Bear, fbear.exe. Oh, that's fuckbear.exe. Like nobody laughed at that. I laughed at that. That's funny. How is that not funny? So we're gonna restart. We enter, press enter. Pressing shift. So this will be your first time you've ever seen Windows 2000 probably running on a Pentium MMX laptop. Naturally doesn't run too bad. And I thought that would be a pretty fun operating system to run on this thing. Maybe not the best operating system. Like, you'd be better off running Windows 95. But I think if I was going to run 98 on this thing, I'd rather run 2000, because at least if I'm not able to run DOS applications the way I want to run them, at least I won't get to run them at all, and I get the stability of Windows 2000, which should work really well with older software. We'll hope that this actually has drivers built in, or else I might have to look for some drivers. I assume that Windows 2000 has stock drivers, but I should have drivers for the video and whatnot, so our indicator lights are going. Oh, hi. Touching your ear. You get soft ears. It's taking a while. I'll be right back. I decided to just start the installing devices stuff automatically. And this is how slow it's probably going to run on this laptop. It shouldn't be too bad. I'll show you. My dog doesn't continuously pester me. Windows 2000. We're gonna look it up at WinWorld. So it's already installing the hardware. See, the specs should be more than capable. This laptop does have 192 megabytes of RAM, so we're definitely. It originally came with 64 megs minimum, so this actually would definitely run on the minimum specs that this laptop has. This laptop has a 200 megahertz CPU, so that's actually really nice for a older, no, for like a laptop at the time. Pretty high end for what you had. I mean, these laptops also came with Pentium 2s, so you can see the Pentium MMX designed for Windows 95. Yeah, I would be normally running 95 on this thing, but I decided to do a dual boot because I already have a 98 machine. So, you know, I wanted to kind of demonstrate dual booting operating systems, and just to show you guys how that it can be done. And I'll just let this go and do what it needs to do. or maybe not. So we got our mouse, and we can just use whatever. See, I can copy my drivers over here over to this laptop if I ever needed to. Like, I can just turn on the XP computer and just copy the drivers over to it. So, get that done. I believe it's B. Yeah, I remembered parts of it. I've put in this product key so many times. We'll call this Han Solo, because it's a gateway solo laptop. We'll call it Han Solo because I like. Oh, it detects the modem card too. 9999. It detects the modem card in this laptop. That's cool. I don't think I've ever seen that screen before where it detects that sort of thing. But now it's going to detect our network peripherals, and it'll find two network peripherals. There's this little dot station that this laptop is plugged into, which is the dot station for one of these laptops. Has built-in Ethernet. So, really nice business-grade laptop from back in the day. And I thought this would be an appropriate operating system, a very appropriate operating system, because this is Windows New Technology. This is Windows New Testament, which is what Windows NT stands for. This is the gospel. This is the gospel. This is the gospel, Billy. Preach the word of God. So I thought this would be a really fun operating system to throw in here. Because it really was indicative of the time period. And this laptop on like 2-year-old hardware like this, wasn't even like this laptop was still quite new for the time period, sporting a 200 megahertz Pentium MMX, or a Pentium, or even a Pentium 2 if you ever wanted the Pentium 2 to pay a little bit more. But I think most people just paid for the Pentium MMX because it's cheaper, and really that's all that people needed. So here we go. We got our network stuff. Not really that different from Windows 95. The time-honored tradition that my dad naming things Starfleet Command. Trekkie. Or in this case, he preferred to be called a trucker. So it's going to do the setup. It's going to do the installation. I think I've shown the installation off of Windows 2000 before. Maybe not. It goes through a bunch of crap. you don't need to see this. And look, it's installing the components now. It's doing the final tasks and stuff. So we'll see this with like the drivers. Like, we'll see if it installs drivers on here. I'm definitely sure that Windows 2000 does have the drivers for this laptop. And I'm hoping that it does. So you can see it's installing the start menu. At least you get an idea of 2000 running on this thing, because I've never ran it on this laptop before until now. Wasn't able to do so because I didn't have a hard drive on it, and so now I have a hard drive that I pull it out of another laptop. So I'll let it do its thing right now, and we'll see. We'll boot it up into Windows 2000 and see what we got. So here we go. Now we're done. So let's see how well it runs on here. I believe this should already have drivers built into Windows for most of the hardware on this laptop, including the port replicator / dock. You can see it right there. And so Windows 2000. Yeah, it actually boots up pretty snappy on here then. At least I was able to finally stick a period correct hard drive on here. And you can see it's actually running not too bad. I mean, it runs a hell of a lot better than what Windows XP would run on this laptop. Oh God, no! I will not put Windows XP on this thing. That would be tantamount to suicide. Suicide. And I am not going to commit seppuku. I'm gonna get. I don't really care because I'm not monetized, so I don't care at all about my use of words. And it looks like we already have drivers built right into it. So our so this is the Windows 2000 setup. We're going to must require a password. I'll set this up at some point. I much prefer this over Windows XP. This looks awesome. We'll see how it. So we got the Windows 2000. So we can see. So let's go to like hardware manager, device manager. Let's see what the hardware is. Oh yeah, it installs the 256AY. I think I have a driver for this. See, it's installed the stock driver on here, so it's actually got a built-in driver. It's got a driver built right into Windows, so and now so we're gonna boot her into there we go. We got our disk number 2. I will show you what we got right here. And it actually doesn't run too bad. Like I'm amazed. We'll have to boot back into Windows 2000 again and actually take a look at the Windows 2000 stuff a little bit more. New Magic Graph is really good. So we should have a bootable Windows 95 install disk, and it will do its little thing. But we're not going to boot into the installation. I've got to do a couple of housekeeping things. F3 format C:/S. Let's actually install the system files. So what this does is this actually formats the drive. And so remember that FAT32 partition that we have? Well, this partition is now going to be formatted. So now we'll have a partition that'll be formatted in FAT32, and we'll actually be able to utilize this partition a little bit more reasonably. And so now we're going to call it Win95. We'll actually call it Win95B. So I'll actually name the Windows 2000 partition something later. I'm going to go to C:, make directory, Win but we're not going to install it this way. But you might be wondering, why are we still copying over files? Why are we still creating this directory if we're not installing it this way? And I will explain. Call directory and I'll explain why. Copy our Win95. Actually, so what this does, so the reason why we're installing it this way is because we're not going to install it this way, is because this will, because I'll show you what we'll actually be doing. And we will really be installing this a different way. But but I decided to just copy the Windows install files to the hard drive. And we could actually do it from the CD, but we were already on the CD folder during the format, and which that's a little known little fact about Windows 9X is the format.com command. The format.com utility or format command utility is in the Win9X folder. It'll either be named called Win95, Win98, or just Win9X. And it depends on the version of Windows of the Windows 9X operating system that you're trying to install. So that is one thing that I want to just make very clear. And so now we should be ready to go for one more thing that I need to do. Or maybe not, I won't do it. I'll do it later, because we won't be able to do it right now. And so now, oh yes, now we should close that so that when we bust the floppy drive. See, now I'm going to pull my gateway binder out. Pull my gateway binder out. Good. Maybe I might be able to do some of my chores. So I've got my little driver disk. So what this disk is I'll show you what this is. See, this is the this is the recovery media disk for the laptop, which a certain YouTuber inspired me to go look for it, because I've been looking for this thing for years. He couldn't find it, so, and lo and behold, I'm the only one who could actually find this thing. And people say that this disk won't work. Oh, it doesn't work. Here it is. It's working. Where do you think I got this thing from? You're probably using the wrong software then. You're probably using like image burn. You need to use something like Magic ISO. F1 to continue. And so it's going to complain. First drive does not contain. This may be caused. So maybe we won't be able to do it this way. Maybe we won't be able to do it this way. But we'll be able to use this disk for. But we will be able to use this disk to install our drivers and whatever else we need. So that's kind of a shame. I've shown the process of me actually doing this. So we can just go here. And we'll have the disk in here. Do you wish to run a virus scan? No. C:, CD, Windows. See, this is why I'm glad I copy. Why I copy the Windows install files. Set up. Ignore scan disk. So we don't really need to run that. Yeah, Windows 95 is probably going to complain about this as well. Knowing it's Windows 95, it complains about everything. And I believe I know how to. And this should actually be a. And this should be a unintended install disk at that, because we won't even need a product key. Yes, continue. Yes, continue. So this should have an unintended install disk. Totally my real name. Totally. And so this is going to just analyze your hardware. See, this is actually the proper way to install 95, by the way. This is not... That's why you have to really be smart. And really always prepare for the contingency of having to install it a different way. Now, we're going to probably throw DOS, we're probably going to throw Windows 95 drivers on here. I will be on installing the USB supplement update because we don't need that crap. I've got a much better driver for this in mind that will give us USB 2.0 on this laptop. And we can actually do it right from our little disk here. And it will immediately give us USB 2.
I'm going to go get her a water cup and then maybe we can watch a little.
So let's see. Now it detects... I wonder if it detects any hardware. I'm going to install TCP/IP because, you know, TCP/IP... TCP/IP, that's the protocol for me. TCP/IP and IPXS SPX. A reference that only my dad would probably get because, you know. So let's so SF yet again, Starfleet Command. Han Solo. So many Han Solo. So many different references to, like, people. See, this runs amazingly. Oh, do you want to make a disk continue? No, I don't need a disk. I don't need a floppy disk. Continue. But this is a, but now we should be copying over Windows 95 install files. Yeah, it is actually amazing. This run, I think this hard drive might actually be in fairly good condition, all things considered. I mean, this came out of a Toshiba Satellite Pro 445 CDT, which is a much better laptop than this thing. The only good saving grace about this laptop is that this has a 200 megahertz Pentium MMX. The Toshiba has a Pentium MMX clocked at 133 megahertz, which isn't terrible. It's just not what I would prefer running on something like this. So now we should be able to boot Windows 95 for the first time, actually. I've shown the actual process with the gateway recovery media, and I also showed the whole Windows 95 setup with that as well. So I'm hoping that this will be a good video for
Michael, don't forget the dish drying towel.
Okay. So let's see if it'll come up. I'm gonna call Curios. We'll just call it carrots. No password because passwords are gay. I mean, this isn't like Windows 2000 where the password is a lot more secure. And this is doing the plug and play crap. So I'll just let this do it and I'll install the drivers later. So now we should be able to install the supplement update. This isn't really required for the dual booting. This is just to make things a little bit easier. This is a patch that is made by Lone Crusader on MSFN. You might know who some of these people are. And so I thought it was worth pointing out that this is a really neat extended USB patch worth installing if you want to know. So it's going to do the thing. It's going to do what the normal one does. But what this patch does is it adds USB thumb drive support. Much better than what some YouTubers have done on YouTube. And I feel like this is worth installing on here simply because it gives us a little bit more compatibility with USB devices. So what I'm going to go to is I want to make sure a couple things are working fine. It recognizes our RAM good. So our PC Texas Instruments devices aren't working right. So we may need to go through and enable the devices because they're disabled by default. So they're not. I want to just check on those. Oh, Cirrus Logic one is working though. So it's working perfectly fine. So our network, I wonder what network devices do we have? The 3Com that's built into the dock. Uh-oh. This is a... So let's run the... Yeah. So let's put the CD in. And now we'll actually install the now we'll install Acronis OS selector. Now what this does is this allows us to do dual booting. And so this will also allow us to kind of tweak the stuff. Okay, remember to remove. No. So now we should have Acronis on here. And we can now dual boot. Maybe we can just restart. Yeah, it actually works. So we will select Windows 2000. So now we should have 2000, and if we select 2000, it'll boot Windows 2000, which is really neat. And so it should also be able to boot Windows. It should also be able to boot Windows 95 as well. So at least I've actually tried something new with dual booting, like Windows 2000 with Windows 95. Like, I've done Windows NT 4.0 with Windows 95, but not Windows 2000 with Windows 95. Like, that is a first. So this is kind of neat. So I'm hoping you guys actually enjoyed watching this video, because I enjoyed making it. It was a lot of fun going through and going through and installing on a on this laptop, and installing on this laptop Windows 2095. I'll probably set it up at some point. I'll probably go through at a later date and configure it, update the software on it at some point. And until next time, folks, peace out, everyone. So let's see, where is that? Yeah, Magic WDM. So we got this wave table. Wow. I want to test something out before I do anything. This would be like a little bonus. Let's go to like Windows Media Player. It's probably 6.4 or something like that. Let's try, I wonder, can we go to 195? Can we go here? I want to try and run the FM, see if the sound works. We can do the MPU 401, but I don't know if the MPU 401 will work. I don't think we can do that. I think we have to go here. I don't think we can read the Windows installation. Let's go to Media. Well, we actually have Passport. Cool. Yep. Sound works. But I don't know if I don't know why it's not showing the startup. I don't know why it's not doing the startup sound. Whatever, I'll have to rectify that at some point. Wah, 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 wah.